Hello, and a warm welcome to our show, Love Athletics. In this program, we bring you the latest highlights from our sport with expert input from different continental areas. Now, at the end of today's program, we'll have some interesting interviews with the athletes competing at the Atletissima Diamond League meeting in Lausanne tonight. But let's start now with what's been happening in our sport over the last week, starting with the European Team Championships. So for the first time, the three divisions of the European Team Championships were all held in the same place in Chorzów, with divisions 2 and 3 starting on 20 June, and the first top level division held from 23 to 25 June. Over the three divisions, the event recorded a total of 11 championships records, of which 7 in Division 1, 2 in Division 2, and 2 in Division 3. Now, including the mixed relay in Division 3, which was later improved in Division 1 and in Division 2 and Division 1. There were also 47 national records and best performances, and a total of 221 personal bests. The winners of Division 1 were Italy, incredibly crowned for the first time in an event whose precursor was the brainchild of top Italian sports official Bruno Zauli. 7 golds were raked up by the Azzurri: 100 meters with Samuele Ceccarelli, 400 hurdles with Alessandro Sibilio, high jump with Gianmarco Tamberi, triple jump with Tobia Bocchi, shot put with Zane Weir, and among the women, 5,000 for Nadia Battocletti and hammer throw for Sara Fantini. The Italians had come agonizingly close in the last edition, losing by just 2.5 points to hosts Poland after Gianmarco Tamberi was injured too late to be replaced, and therefore 0 points followed. The Netherlands, only promoted to the top division 2 years ago, took 4 golds, with 2 going to Lieke Klaver, who left her specialist 400 meters to Femke Boll and contested instead the 200 meters as well as the sprint relay. And Germany also had 4 victories. But what matters in the European Team Championships is not the medal count, but the placing table. So let's take a look. Italy lead with 426.5 points, followed by Poland, 402.5. Now, the hosts were hoping to earn a third consecutive title, and they did have a great championships, but couldn't quite match the Azzurri. Germany was third. Spain came in fourth with a very good last day. Now, Great Britain was fifth. Bizarrely, 0 team victories, and they had both their sprint relays disqualified, but a very good overall effort still enabled them to place so well in the placing table. Netherlands, as we saw, 4 goals, but also other very good placings. France, they climbed up the table with 3 wins on the last day. They had had 0 until then. And one of them was by long jumper Hilary Kpacha. You remember her interview from the Nikaya meet last week? Well, again in Chorzów, she took off and took another surprise win to defeat Larissa Iapichino and the European indoors silver medalist. So very, very good performance, and Portugal was in 8th place. Let's look at the top marks that were registered in Silesia over the 3 divisions, and here they are. Among the men, we had already spoken about Christian See's excellent 69.94 in the discus last week, because he was throwing in Division 2. So that was a championship record. Jason Joseph in the 110 hurdles was also a championship record. In the pole vault, Menno Floon of the Netherlands, and the fourth best performance was the hurdles by Alessandro Sibilio, also a championship record. Among the women, best performance was by Femke Bol in 12:13, a championship record. Luisa Gega in the 3,000 meter steeplechase was also a championship record with 9:17:31. And Christine Pudens had a good mark in the shot put, as did the Netherlands in the relay. Now, I'd like to highlight the performance by 34-year-old Albanian steeplechaser Luisa Gega, whom we see here on her way to victory at the European Championships last year, who not only set the championship record with her win in Division 3, but she also became the most decorated athlete in the history of the championships. So congratulations to Luisa Gega. Now, while many races were tactical and overall performances in Chorzów may not have been outstanding, in the European Team Championships, every placing counts for points. And this led to some truly extraordinary performances. The most impressive one was arguably Belgian shot putter Julien Boumco, who also contested the 100 hurdles as a late replacement. The video, which sees her carefully and systematically striding each hurdle, has gone viral on the European Athletics Twitter account and really commemorates the beauty of the event and the sacrifices that athlete will make to earn even just 1 point. Belgium was fighting to avoid relegation, and Boumco declared, "My team is the most important thing for me. I couldn't let it happen to lose by 1 point. That's why I considered taking part in the 100 hurdles. There was no risk for me if I took it calmly." And calmly she did take it, but her effort was important for the team. So well done, Julien. Another feat which you will only see in team championships was Italian sprinter Anna Bongiorni in the 4x100 meter relay, picking up the baton which they had dropped in the last exchange, going back to the change to the takeover zone, handing it correctly to the anchor Vittoria Fontana. Now, the final time was a lowly 52.28, but completing the race enabled the Italian ladies to score points. And as 4 other teams in between the 2 heats were disqualified for changing outside the zone, it finally meant 5 points for the Azzurre. And this typifies again the spirit of these championships. So I guess you figured it out. I really love this event. Now, next in the calendar were 2 World Continental Tour gold meetings in New York and in Ostrava. On 24 June in New York, top marks among the men came in the sprints and hurdles. British sprinter Zarnell Hughes ran an excellent 9.83 to win over Jamaica's Akeem Blake and take the world lead. Over the 200 meters, Noah Lyle also took a convincing win in 19.83, his second best mark of the year and the 4th worldwide, while US high hurdler Daniel Roberts clocked an excellent 13.01, very close to his 13 flat PB from 2019, which must be important for him after the disappointment of the disqualification at the World Championships last year. And Devon Allen was second in a very good 13.04. The level of the women's performances was not as high, with the best mark coming from Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, who continues her excursion into the 400 flat, improving her PB on the distance to 49.51, with a more equal effort distribution than in Paris, but still far from the specialists, Marie-Lady Paulino, and even her compatriot, Britton Wilson, who also competes over the hurdles and the flat. 3 days later in Ostrava, Golden Spike meeting, the best result came from Mondo Duplantis, who added 1 more centimeter to his own world lead, bringing it to 6 meters 12, ahead of Australia's Curtis Marshall, who improved his PB to 5 meters 90, the same height as the Philippines' Ernest John Obiena. Another great event there was the shot put, with Ryan Krauser throwing 22.63 meters, his second mark of the season and the 3rd best overall. And New Zealand's Tom Walsh also at a very high level with 22 meters 15. Now, among other meets, there were excellent results in the 110 hurdles, a world lead on 23 June in Fayetteville by the USA's Cordell Tinch, who clocked 12.96, only the second athlete below 13 seconds this year after Grant Holloway. Now, the multi-talented Tinch had won not only the 110 hurdles, but also the high jump and the long jump at the NCAA Division II Championships in Pueblo in May. Another interesting event from the past week were the Ethiopian trials for the 10,000 meters at the World Championships this summer, held in Nerja, Spain, near Malaga. In the men's race, Beriu Aregawi won in 26:50.65 over Selemon Barega, 26:51.87, and 17-year-old Yisma Dillo in 27:08.85. In the women's race was even better, with Gudaf Tsegai dominating a high-quality race to finish in 29:73, the 4th fastest time in history, well ahead of Ejgayo Taye and Lemlem Hailu. And the Ethiopian Federation released the preliminary squad for Budapest. In the steeplechase, of course, a fresh world record holder Lamecha Girma leads the men's selection, while Sembo Alemayu, who in early June improved to number 2 in the under 20 all-time list, a mark which is also number 11 of all time among the senior athletes, is evidently on the team, along with Oregon 2022 medalist Berkwa Getachew and Mekdes Abebe. In the middle distances, there is no surprise, as 17-year-old Birke Hailom is included in the 1500-meter squad. On 15 June in Oslo, Birke had set a world under 20 mile record that is so good that it is also the number 10 performance of all time among the seniors. In the 5 and 10,000 meters, among the men, the top 3 in Nerja are on the preliminary list for Budapest. And as for the women, of course, reigning world champions Gudaf Tsegai in the 5,000 and Letsembet Gidey in the 10,000 lead their respective events. But it is interesting that in spite of winning the trials in Nerja, Gudaf is not currently entered over the 10,000. Of course, we have seen in the past that these preliminary lists are indeed preliminary, and things can change in the coming weeks. In any case, it looks like a really strong team for Ethiopia. Let's now check the world leads established over the last 7 days. So there were no Diamond League meetings, but there were several world leads and across 3 different continents. So among the men, we mentioned Zarnel Hughes. Berihu Aregawi in Nerja was also a world lead. Cordell Tinch we've highlighted. High jumper Sengyok Wu of Korea equaled the world lead with 2 meters 33. And in the pole vault, Mondo Duplantis climbed to 6 meters 12. Among the women, there was just one world lead, and that was Gudaf Tsegai's excellent mark in Nerja. So, however, as world leads are not always top-level marks, we will also continue to check the best results of the past week, starting with the men's events. The top men's performance came from Mondo Duplantis in the pole vault, and there were also very good performances in the sprints and high hurdles. So we spoke about Zarnell Hughes in New York City. Now there's one result I would also like to highlight, which normally we wouldn't, but it's an excellent 9.96 clocked by Ferdinand Omanyala into a 2.4 headwind at the Kenyan Championships in Nairobi. So that was noteworthy. In the 200 meters, we saw Noah Lyles with the 5th best time of the year. In Nerja, we had the 2 best time, Beriwa Regawi world lead, but Selemon Barega also a very good time. In the 110 hurdles, Cordell Tinch world lead in Fayetteville. Daniel Roberts now with the 4th performance of the season at the New York meeting, and Devon Allen also very fast in New York. Now, Cordell Tinch had also clocked 13:09 in the heats in Fayetteville before going under 13 seconds in the final. So very good performance for him. We saw Mondo Duplantis, and that is the highest quality performance of the week. And we mentioned Curtis Marshall and Ernest John Obiena. Shot put, Ryan Krauser and Tom Walsh. So top men's performance of 2023 remains Ryan Krauser's 23 meters 56 shot put world record from May, which is worth 1,334 points. And let's now check the best performances of the past week among the women. So actually, these were just in the 10,000 in the excellent in the excellent Ethiopia trials with Gudaf Segai, Ejegai Otaye, and Lemlem Hailu, all recording very high quality marks. The top women's performance of 2023 remains Faith Kipyegon's 1,500 meter world record, which is worth 1,295 points. So several under 20 and under 18 athletes also registered great performances over the past week. So let's take a look, starting with the under 20s. In the pole vault, and we apologize to Matvey for not picking this up earlier, on 12th June in Tver, Matvey Volkov cleared 5 meters 71. Now, Matvey is the son of Soviet great Konstantin Volkov, who was an Olympic and World Championship silver medalist. Among the women, there was also a great result from an athlete who has a very illustrious father. That's Shanti Jackson, the daughter of 400-meter hurdler Bershon, who won gold in his specialist event in 2005, as well as 3 4x400 relay goals. So as we saw, now in the women, the performance over 100 meters on 12th June in Renton by Shanti Jackson is not yet on the World Athletics list, but it would be number 12 under 20 of all time. And another top result for Shanti, after the excellent 10:89, which she clocked in early June, and which is equal number 4th on the all-time under 20 lists. And then over 10,000, also in Nerja, young Senyat Getachew finished 8th in the trials, but her mark was good enough to be number 8 in the all-time under 20 lists. Among the under 18s, again, we had missed a couple top results last week, and there was not much activity. So we exceptionally extended our cutoff to the top 13 marks of all time. And over the 1500 on 21 June, Cameron Myers of Australia ran 3:36.10 in Pfungstadt in Germany, which is the number 11 under 18 mark of all time. And as we saw, over 10,000, Yisma Dillu at the Ethiopian trials in Nerja ran a very good time, which is number 13 under 18 of all time. Among the women, there was another great result for 17-year-old Mia Brahe Pedersen, who ran 11.09 behind Shanti Jackson. Now, again, this mark is not yet on the World Athletics list, but it would be number 3 of all time for the under 18 category. And her exceptional 11 flat from 27 May, which would be number 2 under 18 of all time, is also not yet on the World Athletics list, but it was confirmed by several US athletes. So I'd like now to highlight some cool athletics news and extend congratulations to St. Lucia sprinter Julian Alfred and Jamaican triple jumper Jaden Hibbert, who were voted Outdoor Collegiate Athletes of the Year by Track and Field News magazine. Alfred won 5 NCAA titles this season between indoor and outdoor, including relays. She holds the world lead over 200 meters, as well as the equal 5th best time, and has 2 of the top 8 marks in the 100 meters. Hibbert was NCAA champion both indoor and outdoor, and set 2 world under 20 records, with the indoor mark coming during the NCAA Indoor Championships. And his outdoor record set in May remains a world lead. So congratulations to the 2 athletes. Now, the Atletissima Diamond League meeting takes place tonight, but the women's high jump was held last night as a city event and saw an excellent contest with 2 athletes over 2 meters. Winner Nicola Olislagers set a world lead with 2 meters 02, which also equaled her Oceania record from Tokyo 21, while the Ukraine's Irina Gerashenko also equaled her PB with 2 meters for second place. Now, Serbian high jumper Angelina Topic was already clearing 196 and equaling the world under 18 best last year when still aged 16. And in Paris, she improved to 197. So first, we're going to listen to what Angelina told us in Paris after that achievement.
Congratulations, you've again improved your record. You're now equal 9th on the under 20 world list.
Yep. Well, 197, my personal best, which is also an Olympic standard. I'm very, very, very pleased and very, very amazed. I'm so happy to be here. I think everything just came together, and I'm just proven that everything was worth it. This is just new motivation to keep going forward. It's not over, I cannot relax yet, but I'm very happy that I have broken this mark. of 197, which I was trying since last year. I had some good jumps on 2 meters, which is just amazing for me. Really incredible. I'm very happy to be here around all these amazing girls, which are also helping me, and everyone is helping each other to be the best they can. So next up is probably Lausanne, also Diamond League. So yeah, we'll see you there.
And the long jump, you're doing quite well in the long jump as well.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 days ago I was doing the long jump, and I mean it's my second discipline. It's a part of my training, which is very important for me at the moment, because it goes. I'm better in long jump. I'm better in high jump, which I guess is true because I have just broken also my personal best in long jump. But there is so much improving in long jump, also in high jump. So yeah, only God knows what's next.
Now in Lausanne, Angelina cleared 194 and had 2 very close attempts at 197, which already shows great consistency. But then Angelina told us an interesting background to the competition in Lausanne.
2 very good attempts at 197 tonight. Very, very close. So a little bit of disappointment because you didn't clear it, but the feelings must be good.
Not really disappointed. I'm very happy with the jumps. 2 weeks ago, I jumped my PB, which was this height 197, so I'm very happy to just have the experience to try it again. Despite that we didn't know that competition was today, we thought that it was tomorrow, so we missed our flights yesterday. So yeah, we woke up today at 4 a.m. to go to the airport, and we had 2 flights, so we literally came in Switzerland like 3 hours ago, and I really didn't think that I could compete this good. I'm very happy to be here. This is one of the best Diamond League experiences I had this year. The crowd was amazing. I'm looking at it right now. Just a really amazing experience. I'm very happy to just have the chance to jump here, and I'm very happy to jump next week and just, I don't know, live for these experiences over and over.
So it was really good, seeing you very, very close to 197 again. But knowing that you had to get up at 4 a.m. this morning makes it really brilliant.
I'm going to sleep right now.
Congratulations, Angelina. Ciao.
So clearing 194 and coming so close to equaling her 197 PB with so little sleep must be a record of some sort. So congratulations, Angelina. And there are some interesting talking points from the athletes' press conferences, and we have collated some of them here. Brian Krauser and Katie Moon spoke about what can be done to make athletics more popular in the US.
Ryan and Katie, so we've seen a lot of incredible competitions so far this summer abroad, and my question for you is, like, what are some of your favorite aspects of competing internationally, and what, if anything, do you think US track and field could take away from it?
Yeah, I can start. So yeah, the thing that for me when I travel that I'd say I most look forward to is just competing in different countries and seeing so many fans from around Europe and around the world that have such a passion for track and field, and that's something that I feel like we tend not to see quite so much in the U.S. We don't have the depth of fans that they have over here. We do have some extremely passionate fans, but they're not in the numbers that we see over here. So that's the biggest thing I look forward to is coming to Europe and knowing that we'll have good attendance at stadiums, the fans will be enthusiastic. Yeah, there's a number of ideas that I have about changing it in the U.S. I think just beginning with more opportunities to compete. But also, if you look at some of the comparisons between European meets, scheduling some of the American meets to run faster so that it's more of a spectator oriented performance. A lot of the events in the US are much more athlete and performance oriented, which is good to an extent. But if we want to expand, the money has to be coming from somewhere. So if we can get more attendance, more fan engagement, I think that's a large part of it. I think beer is a great motivator to get people out, especially affordable beer. If you give some fans some beer, they tend to enjoy the event a little bit more. So I think that's something that they do well over here that the U.S. can take notes on.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty much second that. It's a little more challenging. I understand in the U.S., for example, Worlds, I think a lot of people talked about how, attendance wasn't great at Worlds for what it should be. But it is difficult for people to get from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's anywhere in the United States. Unfortunately, it is a little expensive to fly for, the average person that can't just give that kind of money easily. And so I don't know exactly what the answer to that is, but I can understand how it is more challenging, whereas over here people can take trains in from an hour or two away, and then you get a huge attendance. I definitely think that part of it is just marketing our sport. I don't know, again, I don't know the answer to that, but I think just getting it out there more. I think thankfully in some ways social media is good for that. I think you get some really cool action shots of what we do, and it's just making it more available to people and getting people more excited about it. But yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but I do see where there are some discrepancies, and I wish we could kind of make it more like it is in Europe. It is very fun. I will say flying with poles is probably my least favorite part of coming over here, but once you're actually here and competing, it's pretty amazing. So.
We also spoke to Ivorian sprinter Marie-Josée Talou about her great season.
Marie-Josée, excellente saison, non seulement ce meilleur temps de 10,72, mais tu as aussi 3 des 6 meilleurs temps de la saison.
Oui, on m'a dit que c'est l'entraînement qui paie. Je suis reconnaissante déjà de pouvoir être à ce niveau-là, de pouvoir courir en 10,75, 10,78, sans vraiment forcer. C'était pas évident les années passées. Et là, ça montre que l'entraînement paye et que les différentes tactiques qu'on prend avec le coach sont en train de payer.
Alors, à 34 ans, tu fais une saison fabuleuse. Est-ce que peut-être le fait que tu n'as pas atteint le haut niveau très jeune, est-ce que ça t'aide en quelque sorte, ça t'a préservé?
Je pourrais dire oui, parce que comme je l'ai dit, j'ai pas commencé l'athlétisme tôt. J'ai pas eu le niveau que les autres ont eu, mais Dieu m'a donné la grâce de perfer vite quand j'ai commencé. Donc je vais dire ça aussi, je vais dire aussi que il y a eu Shelly Ann Fraser qui nous a motivés parce qu'il y a 2 ans de cela ou 3 ans de cela, je ne m'aurais pas dit que j'allais continuer ma saison à 34 ans. Mais elle nous a montré que l'âge c'est qu'un nombre et que comme le bon vin se bonifie avec les années, et c'est tout dans le mental et tout dans la foi qu'on porte à notre sport, à notre entraînement et la foi qu'on porte en Dieu. Donc je me dis que voilà, l'âge n'a pas de limite. Donc tant qu'on veut, on pourra accomplir ce qu'on veut.
Et ça, c'est génial, surtout en sprint. Parce qu'avant, on disait que passé la trentaine, les athlètes, ils étaient plus assez bons pour faire du sprint, alors que ça a complètement changé.
Oui, franchement dit oui, Shelly Ann a changé la donne, mais après je pense qu'avant, si je me rappelle, apparemment Merlin Otte aussi, elle a couru jusqu'à 40 ans, elle était aussi au top niveau, donc je me dis que tout est dans le mental, tout est dans comment tu conçois les choses et qu'est-ce que tu veux faire en fait. Donc si tu as la foi que tu peux accomplir certaines choses, tu vas l'accomplir parce que c'est, on va dire, le mental qui nous bloque. Une fois que tu as débloqué ce qu'il y a dans le mental et que tu t'es donné les moyens d'y arriver, que tu t'es entraîné dur et que tu t'es dit que tu peux et que tu as prié et que tu as laissé Dieu gérer les choses, il n'y a pas de moyen que tu ne puisses pas accomplir ce que tu as.
C'est vrai que Merlin Otte est dans les femmes et Kim Collins dans les hommes qui couraient encore sous les 10 secondes à 40 ans était exceptionnel.
Exactement. Donc, c'est dire que c'est possible. Il faut juste y croire, il faut juste se donner les moyens et puis voilà, ça compte.
Et puis ce mix d'athlètes qui ont de l'expérience et de très jeunes qui arrivent, Alana Reid, d'autres. Ça, c'est toujours une chose que j'aime beaucoup dans l'athlétisme en général et dans le sprint aussi.
Exactement. Déjà, c'est déjà bon qu'il y a des jeunes qui, déjà à cet âge-là, courent aussi vite. Déjà, je ne pense pas que dans les années passées, il y avait quand même des jeunes qui pourraient aller aussi vite. Et ça montre qu'il y a beaucoup de nouvelles pelles qui arrivent. Et c'est de bon augure et ça nous laisse espérer que l'athlétisme ne va pas mourir et qu'il y aura quand même de nouvelles stars qui viendront battant pas les records.
Merci.
And it's interesting how Marie-Josée speaks about the inspirational role of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, how she is helping change perceptions and of what sprinters can achieve after 30. But of course, we had Merlin Otte, who was also a great example in the past and who was competing at a high level until she was 40 years old. Jakob Ingebrigtsen spoke about his 2023 season.
So Jakob, you had a fantastic season so far, already 2 European records and a very high quality world best on the 2 miles. How do you feel about your season so far?
I'm very pleased with it. I wasn't planning on doing Paris for that long, so a great bonus to add for this season so far. Thinking about the last season, I think this season is I've been doing a little bit better. So for me, that's a very good thing leading up to an important championship towards the end of the season. But I'm here to run as much as possible and race as much as possible. So if I'm able to win and run fast at the same time, that's a very good thing.
Now, I was speaking to Steinar Hoon just a few days ago, and he was saying how, of course, in Norway, you're very well known since you were a kid because of the program, the TV program with your family. But he says he's amazed at how you continue to improve.
Okay.
So what do you think? You think you can continue for many years? You're still very young, even though you've been at the top for a number of years already.
Yes. I don't see myself doing anything else in the closest or the nearest future. Running and competing in running has been my life since I was very, very young. And I've been at the biggest stage for 5-6 years already. So, but now the last couple of years I've been able to win a lot of races and put myself in a very good position. Of course, now it's all about trying to duplicate that and hopefully develop even further, try to run faster, but also to stay at that level for as long as I can.
Now, last year you had a couple, let's call them unpleasant surprises in the 1500 at the World Indoors and Outdoors. Of course, indoors you were, then you found out you had COVID. In outdoors there was a little bit of a scheduling contrast, but this year you look so fit and focused that I don't think you're going to let that happen again.
No, of course not. I wasn't planning on letting that happen last year either. But sometimes you make mistakes and everything does not go according to plan. But I'm always trying my best and trying to do as well as I can in all races, and of course trying to win as much as I can. So I will continue doing that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So it's time now to look at upcoming events as we reach the end of our show. So tonight, as we said, Atletissima Diamond League meeting, followed closely on Sunday by the Bauhaus Gala and Diamond League meeting in Stockholm. Also on the same day, South American Half Marathon Championships in Santa Cruz de la Sierra in Bolivia. From 2 to 8 July, the athletics events take place at the Central American and Caribbean Games in San Salvador. And then on 6 to 9 July, we have 2 very important national championships, US championships and world championships trials in Eugene, and the Jamaican championships and trials in Kingston. And of course, on 7 to 8 July, the Kenya trials for the world championships, and many, many national championships taking place in different countries between 7 and 9 July. From 12 to 16 July, it's the Asian Championships taking place in Bangkok. 13 to 16 July, European Athletics Under 23 Championships in Espoo, Finland. And on 16 July, the next Diamond League meeting, the Kamila Skolimowska Memorial in Chorzów. So lots of things to look forward to in the coming days. So we're now at the end of our program. Thank you all for watching, and see you next week on Love Athletics to look together at the highlights, comments, and analysis of what's been happening in our sport over the last 7 days. Thank you. Bye-bye.